Hello everyone and welcome to Yoga IQ. Today we have a wonderful sequence for your outer hips, which is really a great place to start when you're building your practice. This is going to help unwind back pain and allow your spine to stack properly so that your organs can be in the proper position and function the way they're intended to. Okay, so really great for overall vitality. So let's get started. So we're going to start kneeling here and tuck your toes under, okay? So once your toes are tucked under, maybe this is enough. Maybe come off of your hands, bring your tailbone towards your heels and sit upright. Reach back and down, tuck your pinky toes under, and here we are. We're starting here in the toes of fire pose. This is so good for your plantar fascia, which is a thick band of connective tissue at the bottom of your foot. It really determines where the rest of your organs are positioned. Also determines balance on your feet, health of the knee joint and hip joints. It's a really good place to start. I know it's probably starting to hurt right now, but it's a good hurt, I promise you. So stick with it, okay? While you're here, let's take a big breath in, lift the rib cage. Exhale all the way out. Pretend like your feet aren't on fire right now. Breathe into the bottom of your lungs. Exhale, release. Stick with me here for a few more breaths. This is so good to help your balance, especially as you age. One reason as we age we fall so much is because plantar fascia has become so narrow and rigid. Let's take one more breath here. All right, come back down onto your hands, untuck your toes, and the best part is we get to now tap the feet out. Tap, 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 tap. Awesome. All right, let's bring ankles together, knees together, grab your block. We'll sit the tailbone down towards the heels. Rest your forehead on the block. Arms down by your sides. So let's settle in here. This is a great pose to arrive on your mat. Okay, so let the block fully support your skull, fully support your head. And let's take breaths deep into the pit of the belly, to the bottom of the lungs. Each breath just creates a wave of calmness and tranquility that washes over you. Creating distance here between yourself, your practice, and all the busyness, to-do lists, and inboxes of your life. Leave that at the door. Unpack your rucksack here. All right. Place palms down. Hoist your way up. And let's find a cross-legged seat on your blanket ledge. Okay? Now, if the cross-legged seat is too much for you, the alternative is to do this on your spine, laying down. I'll demonstrate real quick here, just like so. Okay? It's a great way to build the mobility needed to cross your legs. Okay? So, if you're doing the seated version, we'll take ankles just about under your knees. Slightly flex your feet here. Press the sits bones down into the blanket. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge your way forward. Once you've found your edge, let the hands relax on the floor. Let your head and neck relax. Now with each inhale, lengthen your spine. And each exhale, see if you can fold farther forward into that length. Even if it's not a measurable amount, every exhale, go a little deeper into the pose. Emphasizing each exhale. Give yourself permission to release anything that isn't serving you here. I like to call this voluntary suffering. We're all guilty of it. Now we have a chance to let it go. All right. Press into your palms. Slowly make your way back upright. And now let's reverse our cross. So we'll take the opposite shin on top. Okay. Flex your feet once again. Anchor the sits bones. Inhale. Arms reach up. Lengthen your side waists. Exhale. Hinge forward. So relax the head and neck, and let's really hone our inner awareness. So pay close attention to your hip joints and the lower back here. Notice any restrictions, any barriers. This practice really is an inner exploration, an inner investigation. And what's so cool about that is we're actually forging new neural pathways in the body, especially around the hips. So often, due to restrictions and muscle tension, we cut off the chains of neurons flowing through our body and lose feeling in our body. This practice heightens our inner awareness. We can literally feel more as we do more and more yoga. Each exhale, hinging farther forward. All right. Press into your palms. Make your way back upright. From here, we'll uncross the legs, come off of your blankets, and we're going to make our way all the way up to standing. All right. With feet hip distance apart, interlace your fingers. Inhale, reach the palms straight up towards the ceiling. Full body stretch here, so actively press your feet into the mat and reach the palms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, release, and we'll reverse our clasp, opposite thumb on top, interlace, and re-extend. Be sure to actively press big toe mound, little toe mound, and heel into the mat as you reach palms up towards the ceiling. Pull the navel up towards the ceiling as well. Exhale, release, fold all the way forward to your forward fold. So shift the hips forward so the hips are over the ankles. Don't lock out your knees here. And relax your head and neck when you found your edge. All right, from here, we're gonna step back into a downward facing dog. So get your middle 3 fingers really wide. Feet are hip width apart. Now, reach the inner legs back towards the bottom edge of your mat. Reach the heels back and down. And imagine there's a hot air balloon underneath your navel floating up towards the ceiling. Now, squeeze outer arms towards the midline and rotate your elbow creases forward. Keep reaching the hips back towards the wall behind you, towards the bottom edge of your mat. All right. We'll reach the right leg back and up for 3-legged dog. Exhale, hug knee to nose, squeeze the knee, and step your way through. Okay, we're going to take our back foot into what's called Warrior 2 stance. So your front heel is in line with the back arch, and up we come. Okay, now go ahead and straighten your front leg. Okay, we're preparing for triangle pose. Your hips are square in the direction you're naturally facing. You're pushing your back foot very firmly into the mat. Arms out, gaze forward. Inhale, reach the right arm, your front arm forward. Exhale, lower right hand down to shin or block on the inside of your front foot. Top arm reaches up. If this is too much for your top shoulder, you can always keep the top arm down. Okay? Either way, the most active part of this position is the back heel. Push the back heel so firmly into the mat and revolve your ribs up towards the ceiling. Okay? Gaze can be straight forward or even down at the floor. As always, give yourself a moment here to really enjoy the nuances of the pose. Let the pose do its work. All right, push into your back foot, up we come. We'll find our Warrior 2 by bending the front knee, stacking the front knee over the front ankle. Steer that front knee out to the right. So don't let the front knee buckle in. Steer the front knee out. Keep the hips square. Arms out, gaze forward. Warrior 2. Keep the back foot firmly pressing into the mat like you're making a footprint in your mat. And now pull the navel up towards the sternum and dip the tailbone down. Think about your pelvic bowl, leveling your pelvic bowl here. Don't let your front knee cave in. Last breath here. Exhale, lower your right forearm onto your right thigh, or you can even take it down to the block and reach the left arm up and over for our extended side angle. Think about that really nice length we're creating along the left side, in between the bottom of the left ribs and the top of the left hip. That's really detrimental to prevent compression in your vertebrae and keep your hips mobile. Okay, so rotate your ribs, anchor your back foot. All right, push into your back foot, up we come, Warrior 2. One more breath here. Exhale, cartwheel the hands forward, frame the front foot, the back heel is now in the air, and we're gonna step back into a downward facing dog. And when you're ready, left leg reaches back and up three-legged dog. Exhale, hug knee to nose. Step your way through and ground your back foot into the warrior two stance. So front heel in line with back arch. And up we come. Okay. Straighten your front leg. Square your hips. Arms out, gaze forward. Remember, the most active part about this pose is the outer back heel. So push that back heel. Anchor your back heel into the mat. Inhale, reach the left arm forward. Exhale, lower the left hand down to shin or block. Right arm reaches up. Okay. Revolve your ribs up towards the ceiling. Anchor the back heel into the floor. Trikonasana. All right, press into your back foot, float your way up, lunge into your front knee. Again, steer that left knee out to the left. Square your hips. Now, arms out, gaze forward. Be sure that back arm is very active. Don't let that back arm drop. Reaching out through both hands. Warrior two. All right, big breath in. Exhale, lower the left forearm onto the left thigh or left hand onto the block and reach the right arm up and over. Rotate ribs up towards the ceiling. Drive that back heel into the floor. Keep the front knee steering out to the left. And focus on that length we're creating in the side waist. All right, push into your back foot, up we come. We'll take one more breath here in warrior two. Exhale, cartwheel the hands forward. Frame the front foot, step your way back. Downward facing dog. From here, shift your way forward into a plank position. Squeeze the elbows towards midline. Exhale, lower all the way down. Chin on the ground. Now, slide the elbows forward. Peel the chest and head up. Elbows just underneath your shoulders. Push the tops of the feet down. This is a Sphinx pose. So without actually moving them, drag the elbows back towards you. Heart gaze forward. And really push the tops of the feet down and spike down your outer hips so you'll feel a spreading in the lower back. Exhale, lower down. We'll place palms next to chest. Curl your toes under, squeeze the elbows in. We'll float up into table pose and then downward facing dog. From here, we'll take steps all the way forward into a forward fold. Press into your feet, rise up halfway, hands slide up to just under the knees. Really reach the hips back like you're leaning back. Reach the crown of the head forward. On your next exhale, fold forward, press into your feet, inhale, rise all the way up. Arms reach up overhead and down through heart center. All right, from here we'll turn out wide. Slightly pigeon toe the feet. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hinge all the way down. All right, now you have some options here with your hands. Maybe you'd like to grab outer ankles. Maybe walk the hands forward like downward facing dog. If you have a block, you can also experiment with placing the forehead on the block. I'll leave that up to you. Either way, find a variation of your wide-legged fold that works for you. And let's hang out here for a few breaths. Really drive into the outer heels. Push so hard into the outer heels. Push into the big toe mounds. Again, we're trying to make footprints in our mat. All right. From here, hands find your hips. We'll hinge our way upright. All right, we're gonna make our way down into a seat on your blanket ledge here. And find a seat with your legs straight out in front of you. And we'll start with bending the right knee, right foot on the floor. Okay, now take your right elbow and place it on the inner right knee. Inhale, reach your left arm up. Exhale, turn to the left. Place your left fingertips just behind your tailbone as your kickstand and turn the navel, turn the belly to the left. Now push the right foot firmly down into the mat and twist a little further. Exhale, unravel. All right, we'll do the second side. So re-extend the right leg, bend your left knee. Left elbow to the inner left knee. Inhale, right arm reaches up. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring the right fingertips just behind your tailbone. Turn the navel to the right. Keep pushing the left foot into the mat. Stay really tall here. In any twist, we want to be as tall as possible with the spine, so reach up through the crown of the head. Exhale, unravel. All right. From here, we'll make our way off of our blanket ledge all the way up. All right, and we'll place heels onto the blanket ledge with toes pointing out. Inhale, arms reach up, palms together. We'll bring palms down to heart center as we send the tailbone straight down into our squat. Our malasana, our deep yogi squat here. All right, so you can always bring the feet a little wider, depending on your hip structure. That may be what's best for you. But either way, have the heels elevated. It's really gonna help with ankle mobility. Be sure to keep the underarm chest lifted. And you'll notice the pelvic floor is reaching down. This is so good for the lumbar spine. It's creating length in the lumbar spine, which works against compression in your discs. Folks who practice the squat quite often rarely ever suffer from lower back disc issues. Okay, this is so good for your spine, so good for your discs, and of course the outer hips. Let's stay here a few more breaths. All right, when it's time, press into your feet. We'll rise all the way up. Okay, come off your blanket ledge. We'll make our way all the way forward. to the front edge of your mat. Inhale, arms reach up, exhale, fold forward. Step your way back to the downward facing dog with heels on the blanket. Reach the inner legs towards the bottom edge, the back edge of your mat. Spin the elbow creases forward, middle three fingers nice and wide. Exhale, lower down onto your knees. All right. From here, we'll pick up the left knee, wrap it back and around the right knee. So the left knee ends up on the right side of the right knee. And we'll sit back here onto our blanket ledge. So we have heels close to opposite glutes, working towards something like knees stacked on top of each other. And anchoring pelvic floor, hips down, lifting ribs up. This is a very intense hip opener. Take deep breaths here. Emphasize the exhale. Now, if you'd like to add a little bit of shoulder work to this pose, we'll lift the right arm up, bend the right elbow, bring the right hand down towards the bottom of your neck, and we'll bring the left hand, and we'll bring the left hand back and around, and maybe we catch the hand, or maybe we just reach fingertips towards each other. Either way, pull the elbows back towards the wall behind you. Open up the chest. Exhale, we'll release the arms. Take palms next to your hips. Push your way forward. Back onto all fours. Uncross your knees here. All right. We'll pick the right knee up, bring it, wrap it around the outside of the left knee, and we'll sit our way back onto the blanket ledge. Okay? So find your seat. Find the sits bones on the blanket ledge. Anchor pelvis down. Lift ribs up. Releasing exhales. Have we found our tighter side? My side, I certainly have found my tighter side here. All right, we'll add our shoulder work. Reach the left arm up, bend the left elbow, and we'll reach the right arm back and around, bend the right elbow. See if the fingertips want to clasp here or grab each other, or maybe not. You can also use a strap here, a towel. You can even just grab some of your shirt on the back. Whatever works for you. Emphasize the exhale. All right, we'll release arms, palms next to your hips. Push your way forward, uncross the knees. We'll sweep the legs out to one side, move the blanket ledge out of your way, have your block nearby, and with knees bent, we'll make our way all the way down onto the mat. All right, for our last pose, we'll find the supported bridge pose with the block. So you can use the block on whatever height you'd like. For more of an intense opening, you can use the highest setting. For more of a restorative pose, you can find the lower or middle setting. Okay, so first thing we'll do is bring arms by your sides, block within reach, push into the heels, and hoist the pelvis up. Okay, now we'll place the block on whatever height setting you want directly under the sacrum. Okay, the triangle bone at the base of your spine. So that's where the prop lies. Now don't let the knees go wider than hip width apart. In fact, keep the knees pretty close together. Arms come down by your sides. Here we are. Put the car in park. Put coins in the meter, because we're going to stay here a minute. Really let the block do the work. Let the block fully support you here. And just allow the front body to begin opening up, expanding. This is a back bend here. Your spine is in extension. This is so good for your vertebrae, for your joints along the spine. This will really improve every vital function: respiration, circulation, digestion. Such an amazing practice. Feel free to stay here a bit longer. We'll go ahead and press into your feet. Lift the pelvis up. Slide the block out from underneath you and very slowly lower your way down. And from here, we'll take legs long, arms by your sides for your final Shavasana, final corpse pose. So if you have the time, give yourself about 5 minutes here and just lay here without trying to do anything. Very happy to have practiced with you today. Your outer hip should be feeling very open, hopefully less pain. Namaste, yogis. I will see you in the next video.